Mr. Horn, you had a wild weekend 3 decades ago and now find yourself in court to prove that you are not the biological father of Ms. Mannion's 29-year-old son, Andrew. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You will meet him for the very first time in a moment, but say today's DNA test will prove you are not his dad.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Mannion, you admit to this wild weekend of sex, but claim you have no doubt that Mr. Horn is your son's biological father.
That is correct.
So, Mr. Horn, now you claim you received a shocking phone call 5 years ago. Tell the court what happened.
I was at work. I got a phone call from a family member who never calls me at work. Asked me if I remembered a certain name, which was her name, and I was like, you know how I was back then. I really don't have a clue who you're talking about. And so she mentioned a couple of other names, and that kind of rung a bell, and told me that she got a phone call from Mr. Haight saying that I might be his father. I got the phone number from my family member, and I called Mr. Haight and kind of told him, I was like, you know, you do know how your mom is. I mean, she's like a railroad track. She's been laid all across America.
Your Honor,
so
that is a lie.
No
that
way
is
okay. Let's try to be respectful, but I get your point. So it was your opinion that Ms. Mannion had been promiscuous?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you had the phone conversation and you basically told him
that there's no way I could be the father.
Ms. Mannion?
Yes, Your Honor.
He called your son, and he basically said there's no possible way he could be his biological father.
He is the father because I was in another relationship, and a paternity test did come out that the other guy was not the father. And there was only 2 people that I was with during that time.
So there were 2 people you were with, and you said you had a DNA test on the other one, and so you feel like it has to be Mr. Horn from this point.
Yes.
Okay, I want to understand how all this started.
We were at a party on the weekend at an apartment complex of a buddy of mine's. She showed up. I didn't really have a clue who she was. We started chatting. She kept coming on to me.
That is a lie.
I found out she was a friend of mine's, girlfriend or dating. They were dating or whatever. He was in California. So she kept coming on to me. The more we drank, I drank quite a bit. Passed out. I woke up to the best alarm clock ever.
Oh, no.
Woo.
I do not do that kind of stuff.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry. No, I did not. I do not put myself out like that, ever. He was drunk.
I was drunk and passed out, and you took advantage of me.
No.
Oh, come on, woman.
He woke me up. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about taking me to the car and talking to me and reached over and kissed me. I'm like, excuse me, I have a boyfriend.
Okay, so
No.
we don't know who woke who up.
Right.
And because that's the evening you say you conceived your son.
I only slept with Mr. Horn twice.
Okay.
One that night and one the next day.
And then from there, you basically moved on. You guys did not start a relationship. You didn't keep in touch. It was none of that.
Not even close.
Did you ever hear she was pregnant?
I found out that she was pregnant after she had the child. I ran into the dude that she was dating at the time. He said he took a DNA test, but he never seen the results, so therefore he could not be the father. I call it like I see it, she's a hoe.
Okay.
So there's no way I could be the dad.
Okay.
We got to come up with a new word. Just work with me here.
All right.
Ms. Mannion, once you realized you were pregnant, did you immediately think it was Mr. Horn's child?
No, I did not.
You thought it was someone else's?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the man that you had tested?
Well, I did not pay for it. His family did.
Did you bring copies of the DNA testing results?
No, I did
Anything
not.
to court as proof?
I did not get the results. All I know is he told me.
I even called her family after this because the said dude that she thought was the father gave me the phone number because I was like, you know, if I got a kid, I want to be part of the kid's life. When I called, the grandmother answered the phone, and I said who I was, and the grandmother's like, are you sure that you're the father?
So you knew at that point there was a question as to the paternity?
Yes, ma'am. I'll admit, I used to drink a lot and used to drug a lot. I was a no case way to take care of a kid, and a kid that probably wasn't even mine anyway, so I just let it go.
Okay, so you thought someone else was the father. You had him take a DNA test, but you never saw the results. Did you ever see Mr. Horn after that, Miss Mannion?
No, I had no way to get a hold of him. All I know is my mother told me that he contacted them and even left his name, his phone number for when my child gets older to contact them.
Ms. Mannion, you are stating to the court that you do, in fact, agree with Mr. Horn's testimony that at some point he called a family member to inquire.
Yes, he did.
At that point, you say he even left his name and number.
That is correct.
And did you ever reach out to him after he left the name and number?
No, my mother lost the number.
They got his name and number and told you, but they never showed you.
Yeah, they never showed me.
Okay. I want to hear from your son. Your son Andrew is here. Ron, can you please grab Mr. Haight?
Yes, ma'am.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
We are here trying to get some answers for you. Who did your mother lead you to believe was your biological father from the beginning?
Well, I was with my grandparents for the first 5 years of my life.
Okay.
I considered them my mom and dad, and I kept calling her Christina.
Okay.
I ended up going to live with her at the age of 5.
Okay.
And she was married at the time.
Okay.
And so I assumed that he could have been the father at that time.
Okay. And at what point did you find out that he wasn't?
Around the time that that relationship ended.
How old were you then?
12.
12. So for the first 5 years of your life, you considered your grandmother and grandfather to be your mother and father, so you called them mom and dad.
Correct.
Then when you went to live with your mother, she was married, and so then you thought your stepdad was your dad.
Correct.
And then when they broke up, that's when you realized he was not your father either.
That is correct.
What did your mother tell you at that point?
I asked her who he was, and she gave me the name Kevin Horn the very first time.
The first time you asked?
The first time I asked.
And she had absolutely no doubt in her mind?
She had no doubt in her mind.
She didn't say it could be somebody else too?
No, she didn't.
Just said Kevin Horn?
Yep.
At that point, what did you do with that information?
I stored it in memory,
You stored it
so I could find a way to find him.
until you could find a way to find him. So when you gave him that information, Ms. Mannion, did you truly believe Mr. Horn was the father? Because you've admitted in court today that there possibly could be another man, but they told you the DNA test said it proved it wasn't true, but you didn't see it. So did you ever think to maybe fill your son in and say, well, there also was another guy?
Your Honor, the other guy did sign the birth certificate because he believed also that he was the father.
Let me see that, Ron.
Here you go, Your Honor.
So wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. My son's last name is my maiden name.
Okay, so you gave
What?
your son your maiden last name.
Yes, I did.
The name of the father on the birth certificate, is it the same name of the man that had the test previously?
Yes, it is. He signed the birth certificate before the test was done.
So, Mr. Horn, you don't seem like you believe in this.
Is anybody actually in here believing this crap?
So, Mr. Haight, did your mom ever say to you, Mr. Horn is one possibility, but there potentially was someone else? We had a test, but I never saw the results. Did she tell you that part of the story?
Nope. When I went to get a birth certificate for an ID, it was the first time I found out that.
You saw your birth certificate for the first time, how old?
17, 18.
So when you went to get your ID was the first time you ever seen your birth certificate?
Correct.
And when you looked at the name of the father listed on there,
It
you
wasn't
didn't know
Kevin
who.
Horn.
It wasn't Kevin Horn. Did you ask your mother?
I did, and she said that there was a DNA test done and that he was not the father. It wasn't until recently that I actually started asking, where's this evidence?
Bingo. That's what I'm talking about. First, he thought your father was his father. Then he thought your husband was his father. Then you told him he was his father. Then in court,
Then
you
you
said
told him
there's
somebody else.
another guy. I'm listening to this story. And at 29 years of age, I think we need to take a little bit more seriously the fact that he still really doesn't know who his biological father is. And as you stand here today, and you so easily write that other guy off because he got tested and he wasn't the father, I can't write him off because you don't have any proof.
Yeah, you're right.
So then that leaves him in a position where he can't fully accept that truth. Even if it is true, he can't fully accept it because he can't see the paperwork.
I understand.
Okay. Mr. Haight, what are you hoping for today?
I'm hoping that I actually have found my father.
So since you were 12 years old, you've been carrying the name Kevin Horn in the back of your mind.
Correct.
And today, this very moment, is the first time you've ever laid eyes on him.
That is correct.
Other than, yeah.
Other than a picture on the internet when I found the information. My grandmother lost all the information that he gave her. So I did investigative work myself to find him.
Good for you.
And we've been talking for the last 5 years. ever
You
since we
have?
found- Yeah, we have.
Good.
The kid, I hate to keep calling him a kid because he's almost 30. He's had a rough childhood, you know, and the thing that makes me the maddest most about it is the fact that she knew how to find me. She could have found me.
I didn't
And
know how to
if
find
he
him.
is my son, I've lost 29 years of his life other than the last few years that we've been able to
I'm
talk on the
sorry
phone. So,
that you made poor choices that left you.
yeah, one of them was having sex with you, but that's besides the point.
Please.
If that is my kid, you took 29 years of his life of not having a dad and being confused for so many
Why did
years.
you disappear? Why did you?
I've lived in Orlando, Florida for the last 29 years.
No.
I didn't go nowhere.
Why did you Yeah, you did. You got the information and you disappeared. Why didn't you call and contact them?
Because your mom even-
Why? No. Oh, come on.
All right,
My
so-
family ain't like that.
Miss Mannion, I get why you're upset. I mean, this has all really gone over your head. I mean, literally. You are not grasping what really has happened. And what he's trying to say is, when there was a question regarding the paternity, he made the phone call. Your family then informed him that there was another possible father, and it probably was because at that time you even said you believed it was the other guy's child. So when he got the information that it wasn't his, he left it alone, but I said, I'll leave my number if anything else changes. He thought he never got a call because nothing else changed. But what happened is his number got lost.
Oh.
See, I see what happened.
I didn't even see the number.
We know you didn't see anything. No, really, Miss Mannion, you have not seen it.
Really?
I get it. You have not seen
No.
it. That's why I'm here to try to make you understand that even though you do want to believe, and look, Mr. Horn has been slightly harsh today in his language, but I do understand what he's saying. What's wrong, Miss Mannion?
Truth hurt.
You need to calm down, Miss Mannion, because I have the results for you. Mr. Haight,
Yes.
is there anything you'd like to say, sir? Because at the end of the day, this is about you. What would you like to say?
Well, if you are the father, I would like to continue growing our relationship.
Definitely.
And if not, I'll still like to we can go as a, older brother type thing, I guess.
That's
a much
sweet.
younger older brother.
Yeah.
I want to give you the results. Ron,
Your Honor.
thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Horn v. Mannion, when it comes to 29-year-old Andrew Haight, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Horn, you are his father.
I told you. I told you.
We got this son, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm very happy.
I'm happy for you. You're a 29-year-old young man, and you know what? I see young men come in this courtroom that have never, ever known their father at all. That's one issue to deal with, and that is difficult. It's a complete different thing to every 5 to 7 years somebody tell you somebody new is your dad.
Yeah.
That is confusing and heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
I know, I can see it in your face. But I'm so thankful that you all had the courage to come here today. No matter what happened, what we got wrong, you know, whose feelings got hurt. The point is we got to the truth. And now you can walk out of here and know that that name you've been entertaining since you were 12 years old, Kevin Horn, that really is your biological father.
Yes, I can.
I'm so happy. I'm glad you've already been getting to know one another, but now you can get to know one another even on the next level with clarity and that absolute knowing.
And
that
my grandkids.
Amen to that. Ms. Rainey, you are here today requesting 2 paternity tests and suing the man you say is the father of your children. You admit that you slept with one other man during the time of conception, but you argue that was only because Mr. Matthews refused to accept his responsibilities.
Yes.
To that end, you are also suing Mr. Matthews for $4,663.50, his half of the expenses for the children in question, Salih and Renaya.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Matthews, in your statement, you claim you have every reason to doubt you are the father of Ms. Rainey's children. You say she is known to be promiscuous and even named her son after another man.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say you are confident the children are not yours, and that will be proven when today's DNA results are revealed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Rainey, why did you name your son after another man?
He told me to.
Yeah.
He told you to.
And the reason is, okay, the situation is, when I found out I was pregnant, I told him and the other person that
you
it was
living
between
with.
both of them.
No.
Because you weren't sleeping with anybody else during the time of conception.
I slept with him and Rondell.
Right.
Mr. Matthews, what do you have to say?
I have to say that it's not possible that it can only be between me and one other person. She is known to have family trees in her. When I say this, I mean it's like...
Mr. Matthews, were you having sex with her all the way up until the birth of the child?
No, just a few times.
We had sex June 23rd,
just a few
the
times.
day I went in labor. When my child was born, we sent him a picture on the phone of my child. His words was, "That ain't my son.
Why
He
is you
don't look.
texting
He
me?
don't look like
What
me."
is you texting
Name
me for?
him,
You need to be sending
you
a
might as
picture
well
to your
name
baby
him
daddy.
Salih
You don't need
and
to
be
be-
with Salih. So guess
Right.
what I did? I named him Salih.
Right. No, you tried to give me an ultimatum.
So
like,
what you're saying
if you don't marry me, then I'm gonna marry him. I'm like, well, you need to be hurry up and marry him because I'm not
to
going
marry
to.
me, but you always chose not to because
Ain't
you was
not
worried
gonna
about
happen.
what other people say.
No, I was worried
So
about.
wait, I want to get this. Let's get some order. I want to get this down because
Stop.
Ms. Rainey, you
Stop.
explaining a lot of
For
things.
real.
You're
gonna
saying
never
that
happen.
you all were together.
Beat it.
Of course.
Yes,
wanted to.
I dealt with him for 8.5 years. Yes,
Right.
I did. I was in love with this man. Yes, I was.
And so he basically was not going to do what you needed him to do and to step up and do. So when he said, name him after the other guy, you called his bluff and said, and I will.
It wasn't a bluff.
So guess what? Why not?
She tried to say like, oh, it was before you, and it was like before then, and this was still while you was gone, and I was messing with this other person. Yeah, I might have did, but we used the condom, and all type of stuff like that. Like she really.
So I
make
did
somebody
have
use
sex
the
with him,
condom,
and I
like-
told you that it was way before your time.
So you admit, Ms. Rainey, that there was another guy,
I
but
kept
you're
it
saying
real,
not in the
but
time
it's only
frame.
between them two.
It's
I
in
know when
terms
I
of the
got
time
pregnant,
frame
yes.
of conception.
Correct.
So, Mr. Matthews, you're admitting that you continually sleep with her and have at least a sexual relationship with her.
Sex is sex. It ain't nothing important like. Ain't no.
Well, it's
ain't nothing
important
deep.
when it produces
Who
people.
gonna have sex with somebody for 8.5 years and don't have no feelings? Period. Point blank. Let's be
Me?
real. Let's be real.
Me?
Let's be real.
I would.
Let's be real. You
I
ain't finna
would.
deal with me for
I've been
8.5
dealing
years
with females
off and
since I was
on
13.
and
Females
don't
I've
have
been
no
dealing with
type
since I
of
was
feelings. Stop
13
fronting.
years
Please
old and I
stop
don't got no
fronting.
feelings for
Please
them.
stop fronting.
So what
Please
would make
stop.
what would make you
Please
think I got
stop.
something?
I need
for
you all both to talk one one at a time. I can't understand your level of doubt, Mr. Matthews. Why you have such a negative opinion of Ms. Rainey, a person, and she's making this point, and I have to agree, that you have had a relationship with some type of relationship for over 8 years. I mean, we're not talking about 8 months, 8 weeks, 8 years.
That's nothing, though. It's females that I've been having sex with since I was 13 years old. And they don't mean nothing. She don't stand a chance. Like,
But you done live with me off and on
Like, for
in my
real.
apartment.
right, that your
You.
baby daddy was paying for.
My baby daddy didn't pay for nothing.
Right.
Anything I ever had, I paid for. Lanisha worked hard for what I paid for. Yeah, look at my face.
This
too.
my face
So
when I'm
don't do
serious.
All
that.
right,
Don't do that. For real,
let's
don't
address
do
the
that.
court.
Stop.
Ms. Rainey, so you had your own place,
Always had my own place until now.
and you made your own money.
Own money.
You were
Doing
having.
what?
Surviving, getting it, whether it was working on a pole, working at a restaurant, working in a restaurant, group home, anything, I got it.
Right.
And you had half of it, so what you complaining for?
I wasn't complaining. I wasn't complaining about
Well,
it. When I was
Mr.
getting half
Matthews,
of it.
what do you say to that? She's
Oh, yeah, she'll
saying
give
that.
me her money now.
I was taking care
She'll
of
give
him.
me her money.
That's my
Taking care
point.
of him.
So you're
Why? 'Cause I
criticizing
was
her,
with
and yet you openly admit you were living off of her and letting her take care of you.
Listen, I don't care if she was at the store panhandling for money all day. If she came back and gave it to me, I'ma take it.
That's
I
because he's
don't-
nothing. He's nowhere.
Now,
That's because he's nowhere. He's a loser.
well, I gotta drop a little knowledge on you, Mr. Matthews. If these kids are yours today, you gonna be paying for it.
Oh, he already gonna be paying for one because he signed a birth certificate, so I ain't worried about it.
Right.
All right, so did you in fact sign the birth certificate?
For the girl, for Renaya, not for Salih.
Do you believe in fact she's yours?
Like I said, she done had family trees and there ain't no telling.
So cute. How can you treat her mother and talk about her mother and address her mother this way
She gonna
when
see-
you have signed this child's birth certificate and have pretty much owned up and said, I am her father? How do you disrespect her mother on this level and think that it's okay?
Because he don't respect
You give respect where
himself.
respect due.
Because he don't respect
You
himself.
know, because she don't
Anytime
respect
you can
herself.
take the time out your day
She
talking
don't
about
respect herself.
somebody
She
who
work,
you got a
she
child by,
she talking about
you
working on a
disrespecting
pole. Like she
yourself.
be proud of it. Like you proud that you had
And
sex with her
so
whole
what?
family. Oh yeah, I
Okay,
did.
and how many
And
people?
so,
You done had sex with how many
I'm a-
people?
I'm a dude.
So
It don't
what?
matter. It's
Because you
dude.
a dude, it makes you any different from me?
Yeah.
Ms. Rainey, I need to understand from you. You stand here, you're very strong, you're opinionated, I can do this, I got my own life, I'm equal, I can sleep with who I want, I can do who I want, and yet your actions in staying with a man that treats you this way for over 8 years, that don't add up to me. That's not what a strong woman does, and I want to understand that. What is it?
I had a rough life. When you don't have nobody and that's all you have is somebody that's really nothing to lean on, when you can lean on them, that's what you got to do. Like I said, yes, I did love him. I wanted to marry him. I still love him, but I don't want to be with him because he can't respect me as not only the child, his kid's mother, but as his Muslim sister, as a friend, as a woman, period. I done dealt with him off and on, and it's my fault because I allowed him to do the things that he did. As long as I allow him to keep playing me the way he keep playing me, he gonna keep playing me that way. But at a point in time, I'm done. I'm tired and I'm fed up, period.
When you say I had a rough life, explain to me what you're saying, because it sounds like in between the lines I hear you saying, I don't want my children to go through what I went through. I don't want them to feel alone.
Yes. I had my rough life, in and out foster care, being homeless, 14 years old on my own, period. I'm 26 now. I got to live with my cousin because I don't have no help. And if I need help, $1, I can't even get $2 from him to get on the bus to take his kids to the doctor. Enough is enough. I'm tired of taking care of these kids on my own.
As a mother, you're understanding that the love and support of a father is valuable.
Yes, because my daddy wasn't there. And where I'm staying at now, my daddy is around the corner. Do my daddy come around the corner to see me? No, he don't. He right around the corner. You come around the corner to see them kids? No.
You live right around the corner from your father.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
And you say he never comes around to see how you are. And then you also live right around the corner from Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
And he doesn't come around to see the children, even the one whose birth certificate he signed. So you feel like this cycle is repeating itself.
Yeah, but it's not gonna repeat. It's gonna get broken.
And I can tell it hurts.
It do. It do. It hurt a lot. It do. It hurt a lot when you love somebody and then they don't be there for you and all they do is just down you. That do hurt. It hurt a lot because I went through a lot in my life. You ain't have to deal with me all them years, and that's how I feel. Period.
So you feel like you have loved him unconditionally.
I loved him and never got love back. All I ever got was being mistreated, talked about to his other females, baby mamas, or whatever he want to call them. Period. No, he ain't nothing.
So today's DNA results are going to see whether he's responsible for these children. You are suing him for half of the child care expenses in the amount of $4,663.50. Now, have you brought the court any evidence of monies you've spent
Your Honor.
thus far? Jerome, can you hand me the folder, please? So tell me, has he helped you at all?
Well, he bought a pack of diapers and a can of milk. My daughter is 11 months.
Mr. Matthews, is that true?
Yep.
Are these your only possible children, Mr. Matthews?
No, I got 6 kids.
You have six children, besides these 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you take care of those children?
No.
I do what I can. I talk to them, I tell them stuff, I teach them, like, how to not be like me, how not to, you know, like, for real. Like, and that's just real. Like, but I can't literally come out my pocket and give them something I don't have.
But Mr. Matthews, let me be clear. 6 kids, maybe 8, you need to be figuring out how to make some money.
Maybe 7.
Because you gotta take care of these kids.
Right.
Financially as well. Now, Ms. Rainey, I've got receipts here for
Diapers.
formula, money that you've spent on the children
Correct.
since their birth.
Yes.
Half of that amount comes to $4,663.50.
Stop it.
Yes. And that's in the
For
2
real,
years.
stop it.
Because my son is 2 years
Stop
old.
playing.
So for
All the way till now.
2 children.
Correct.
You mean to tell me in 2 years, it added up to $4,000-something?
The receipt don't lie. She's not buying
I'm
clothes.
not saying that, them receipts.
And these are receipts
Her kids don't never
from
got clothes on.
baby-related
They
expenses.
do have clothes
They don't
on.
never
Well, why
got
you
clean
can't do,
clothes
okay, if
on.
my
Yeah.
kids
What
for
I'm
this and
saying
that and
is
I'm
she's
for this
not
and
mad
that,
at the
why you
mall.
They
can't
don't
step
never
up
got
to them and do
clean
what you supposed to do?
Mr. Matthews, what I'm telling
Boy.
you is that these aren't receipts where she's just out at the mall wilding out and shopping and buying things she doesn't need. These are receipts for diapers and formula and food and things that your children need.
Not
They're
including body
necessities.
She's not
wash,
buying.
not including lotion, not including diaper
You don't
wipes,
have-
not including none of that. That is just
Stop.
diapers, food.
Stop.
I see that.
formula.
I have enough. I need to get to the results because your responsibility and her suit is conditioned on whether or not you are, in fact, the father. Right. So, Jerome, if you could please hand me the envelope. I'm ready for the results.
You go, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results, as prepared by DNA Diagnostics, reads as follows. In the case of Rainey versus Matthews, when it comes to Renaya Matthews, Mr. Matthews You are indeed her father. All right, let's go to the next one, Jerome. And this is the child where you feel like you have the most doubt.
Right.
In the case of Rainey versus Matthews, as it pertains to Sally Sanders, named after another man per your insistence.
Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings.
And this is the child where you feel like you have the most doubt.
Right.
In the case of Rainey versus Matthews, as it pertains to Sally Sanders, named after another man per your insistence. Mr. Matthews, you are his father. All right, so the results are in now. Mr. Matthews, it was hard to sit here and witness a man disrespect a woman that's the mother of his children in this way.
That's overrated, though.
I have to tell you, I don't care what she's maybe done in the past. The fact remains is that she's the mother of your children. You got to do better on that level.
That's overrated,
for your
though.
children's sake. If not, you're gonna raise a son that treats women the same way you do. And that's not cool. And Ms. Rainey, as you allow them to see you be disrespected by him in this way, you are teaching them that that level of disrespect is okay. And it's not.
It's not.
I can see the look in your eyes. And if somebody treated your children the way he treated you, I wouldn't want to see you on that day.
Oh, no, because ain't nobody going to ever treat my kids the way you treated me.
And therefore, you must require more for yourself, and you must require more of him. I'm not so certain yet that he gonna get his act together.
He not.
But he gonna take care of those kids.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Mr. Matthews, since you've been found to be the father today, I am awarding Ms. Rainey the amount of $4,663.50, which is half of the money she has spent raising those children without your help. Judgment for the plaintiff, court is adjourned.